It really looks like Nintendo is going full on scorched earth in 2024, and even me, with my eternally optimistic, hopeful, positive attitude, I can ignore it no longer. Monkeys are afoot as we've got some awesome Monkey Ball previews, and more games get announced for Switch, so good morning Mario, and good morning Switch fans, although this isn't really a good thing Nintendo is doing. I normally try to look at this stuff glass half full, but it's pretty hard to ignore how aggressive Nintendo has been. And today I want to talk about the dangers of that and if they can even be reeled in. So what's going on, everybody? It's Zach from SwitchForce. Let me know your take in the comments down below. These new things Nintendo is doing, gosh, they really don't give a crap. They want to exert their power as much as humanly possible. But first, I want to tell you about Necro Bouncer, a new roguelite coming to Switch. Well, actually, it's an old roguelite. You are a Necro Bouncer. You got to keep people at the club and also get your roguelite on. It's a pretty typical roguelite. It's got mostly positive reviews on Steam. It's coming in early May, and it looks pretty fun, although the game can be had for $4 on Steam. It's $13.99 on Switch, so just wanted to point that out. Also, Monkey Ball is returning in late June, and it looks awesome. They put out a new trailer that emphasizes the multiplayer modes, and we've got some previews that give us new details on the game, learning much more about how this evolves the Monkey Ball formula. And it seems like it does, mainly by introducing a nice story that builds out the lore of Monkey Ball, as well as a brilliant new spin dash move for awesome shortcut management, and then the battle modes. Now, these battle modes can be played with up to 16 players online, 2 on the same console, or they can be played 4-player split screen locally. Now, that's pretty good. I like the accessibility there, and it seems like most of the modes are fun, although I don't see target. If you're making Monkey Ball and you don't have Monkey Target, what are you doing? But the previews do say that most of the modes are fun, some aren't all that great, but the main thing you're going to be doing in Monkey Ball is playing the adventure mode, which now has cooperative play, which is pretty neat, but most importantly, has gorgeous levels, a bunch of different themes, a story, a new monkey character, and spin dash. Now, this is not Sonic Spin Dash, but it's very similar in that you can charge up your Monkey Ball and launch it in a direction even while you're moving. So this allows you to get a burst of speed without having to slow down. And I'm sure you can already see the awesome possibilities here for crossing stages with extreme speedrunning potential, but also risking it all and letting those bananas fall. Because as you spin dash after already gaining momentum, you're going to be going super fast, and there is no ability to pump the brakes. You don't have brakes on the Monkey Ball, you just have boosters, and that can be very dangerous, but if you build up your skill, it can also be incredibly awesome. So it does seem like they're trying to take Monkey Ball to the next level, which I really do appreciate, because for the most part, I feel like all the Monkey Balls thus far released on Switch, they're either actual remakes or they haven't really done much new. But introducing some more of these cool battle modes, as well as a beefier single-player adventure with co-op and the new spin dash move, sign me up. I'm buying this. It's not even full price, which I think is a smart move for Monkey Ball, and it's out June 25th, right before Luigi's Mansion 2. So if you're not a fan of ghost hunting, get in some monkeys. They look good this time around. And that brings us to the end of the good Nintendo news. Now on to the bad. Nintendo has been, they're just exerting their force. I don't know what other way to put it. They've been very aggressive on the emulation front, as you know. We've covered that multiple times, of Nintendo shutting down Yuzu, of working behind the scenes with Discord to shut down replacements for Yuzu. They are being very aggressive to say, you can't do this. And it's a fine line between, okay, protecting people from pirating your games and absolutely shutting down the emulation scene, which is not good for preservation, nor for ownership. Now, Nintendo, they've always been more aggressive in this front. That's why we know of, the Nintendo Ninjas. They get people. They go after people like Mr. Bowser, who was emulating a ton of stuff, and they charge him with insane fines. They go after people that leak stuff. They go after sites that are using their IP, and now they're going after Gary's Mod. So this is taking things, in my opinion, to a new level, because Gary's Mod has a whole workshop full of items and different things that players have created, and many of them are Nintendo related. And they're not directly from Nintendo, obviously. They're not they're handcrafted and then copied over, but they do very much look the part. And Nintendo has said no. Nintendo has said they have to take down all Nintendo items, and so the creator of Gary's Mod is asking people to help him out by taking and deleting your Nintendo related uploads. He posted on Twitter saying how this is a bit of a scary situation. We have got your emails and DMs, we have seen your threads, we're doing our own investigations. We need to take these things seriously, particularly from Nintendo, but we also can't let people misuse DMCA takedowns. Now, you do risk sort of setting a precedent by allowing a company to just say, you can't use it, and then you take it all down. And sometimes, as I know from YouTube, there are people that are sort of like falsely claiming your stuff. It might not even be the actual company. They might not actually have the rights. They're just trying to muck up the system and cause problems. But a few hours later, Gary Newman of Gary's Mod said, I have been assured that the takedowns have been verified by Nintendo as legit. So this will now continue as planned. Sorry, push all the mushrooms into the garbage can. Now, I'm not a Gary's Mod player, so this doesn't personally affect me, but I can't help but notice what is going on. Nintendo is undertaking a massive effort to completely protect their IP in what I would say is the most aggressive form in the gaming industry right now. Obviously, nobody wants their characters to be stolen, their games to be copied, but Nintendo is going bananas. The only thing they haven't done is shut down Palworld, although they did shut down Palworld mods. They've attacked emulation, they're attacking Gary's Mod, and they're basically saying, like, we own it all, you can't touch this. But it's not like the do. It's like, oh gosh, when will Nintendo stop? Now, I'm typically like, okay, like, Nintendo's just trying to protect their IP, they're just trying to, set precedent, but maybe Nintendo is going too far. Maybe Nintendo is taking this to an extreme that we should get a little worried about. Now, I don't know that it impacts you and I on like a daily basis or anything right now, but if Nintendo continues this scorched earth method where they are just going to go after everyone and everything, it really limits our ability to A, preserve these games, B, own them, and C, do fun things with them. And I understand it's a gray area between doing fun things with their characters and copy and infringing upon their rights, but this is very, very intense. And Nintendo may be doing this because, I don't know, is it because the Switch 2 is coming up and they really want to lock things down before that platform launches? Is Furukawa implementing a new system to just make sure Nintendo owns it all? After being declared the richest company in Japan, they want to make sure that they hold that title. Is Nintendo just finding new lawyers that are very, very aggro and they're pushing this across the globe? Why is Nintendo now making a more concerted effort to shut everything down? And does it lead to a future where once they do go all digital, if they ever do, they're super aggressive? We've seen Nintendo do things like shut down the 3DS and Wii U multiplayer servers, and we've seen some people try to make sort of their own custom servers to keep that stuff going. In a world where Nintendo is allowed to continue at this level, they just shut that down because they don't want anything going on that isn't directly created, approved, and maybe most importantly, sold by Nintendo. We also heard recently about the whole Fortnite debacle where they wanted Samus in Fortnite, but only visible to players on Switch, which creates a crazy situation and scenario for Epic Games. Epic Games said no. Nintendo is locked down in a way that I don't know is really all that good anymore. I totally get Nintendo wanting to keep their games on their system. We just talked about that in a different discussion, like, hey, it's okay if they don't want to put their stuff on PC, their games define their console. And maybe they do feel like without our IP, we are nothing, and so they feel a need to protect much more than others. But I think there's a way to do this without absolutely scorching everyone in your path. I don't know that you need to completely try and eviscerate emulation as a whole. Maybe just make better methods to safeguard your system, lock down any sort of hacks, and prevent those who are pirating games rather than just trying to emulate games like you already emulate on your Switch for your NSO. Or maybe you could just release more NSO games so people don't feel as much of a need to emulate. There's a million different scenarios and paths and solutions Nintendo could take. This is obviously one of them. They can go after everyone and everything. I just am beginning to think it's a bit much. Now, there's really nothing we can do except post about it, talk about it, share these stories, because Nintendo has plenty more money and plenty more confidence than we do. Even if Nintendo decides to shut everything down under the sun that isn't their own, they still have Mario, Zelda, Splatoon, Animal Crossing, Mario Kart, and much more. Can we really compete with a giant of this size when we know their games will continue to sell? And we don't want the option where we don't buy their games to try to send a message. A, that usually doesn't work, and B, that's unfair to us. But man, oh man, I hope some investor asks Furukawa about why the aggression as of late, and I really do hope we get more coverage of this to kind of push back against Nintendo a little bit. It may not change their mind, it may not change exactly how they operate, but I think they should know, we don't really like this anymore. It's okay to, make sure you protect your characters, make sure you protect your games, but at this level, like, Garry's Mod's been going for almost 20 years, and now they have to erase everything Nintendo related. That just feels like a lot. That just feels like Nintendo being mean to be mean, being aggressive to be aggressive, and dominating. And I don't really understand the full legal precedent of, like, protecting your IP and setting a precedent, but is Nintendo really under that much danger? It doesn't seem like it. So why the aggro? Power, money, greed. That's my best guess, and I don't really like that. But I'd love to know your thoughts on this topic and Nintendo making the Garry's Mod takedowns, going after all the emulators, not allowing Fortnite unless only Switch players can see Sleek Samus's skin. Not her actual skin, but you know what I mean, like the skin in the game. And I don't know, maybe even shutting down leakers. We haven't heard anything as of late from Nintendo, so what the heck is going on? What seems to be going on is this. Nintendo's ninjas are now getting more legal than ever before, and they're really taking it to everywhere they can take it to. So thanks so much for watching, everybody. Let me know your take in the comments down below. Until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, stay happy, stay positive out there. Love you lots. SwitchForce out.